Hi guys, I'm back again today with another reaction video, and today we're checking out why do Muslims don't marry non-Muslims. Why do Muslims don't marry non-Muslims? I think they do actually, you know, but let's see. Oh, the question is can. Okay. So
you are gentlemen, as I see. Everybody here that I look at is a male so far. Now, suppose you went home tonight, every one of these distinguished gentlemen.
Yes.
And all of your daughters chose this day to tell you that they had decided to marry the Jewish boy down the street or the Christian boy that was walking around. Young people, often they start all these things, and then how do you speak to them when you say, look, the Jew is my brother, the Christian is my brother, but we don't get married? And then you come back to white doesn't want to marry black, and then everybody passes laws. So intermarriage, or what they decided. What if your son came home and said, I have been a good Muslim for 30 years, but suddenly I have decided to become a Christian? I mean, so what do you say?
Yes.
Okay.
The second question about marriage. Islam tells us, see, in detail now, whom we can and whom we can't. We follow this biblical injection to the letter, where the Bible says that an idolater or an idolatress thou shalt not marry. Now we uphold that.
Be ye not unequal, yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness?
An idolater and idolatress thou shalt not marry. So my son falls in love with a Hindu girl. My religion says, no, you can't marry her. No man, how beautiful she is. No man, how much she allures. What? He said, you can't marry. Now, racially, with the Hindus, most of the Hindus, we are one language group. We have the same racial stock. We carry the same surnames. We enjoy the same dishes. But because of our religious idea of God, my religion says, no, you can't marry an idolater or an idolatress. I can, my religion allows me to marry a Christian woman or a Jewess.
It does allow you to marry?
It does allow, yes. It does allow.
Didn't know that.
The reason. There's a reasoning behind it. He said, look, we are so close. If I marry a Christian, a Jewess, for example, I would be the last man to say anything abusive about any of the Jewish heroes. Moses, David, Solomon, Jesus. We have the highest respect for them. So this wife of mine is Jewess. She will be still at home with me. In other words, I respect Moses, I respect David, Solomon, all the prophets. What I'm going to tell her and reason with her is, so come dear, now come a step forward. You have been at a certain level of religious education. Come 2 steps forward. One is to accept Jesus and then accept Muhammad as well. So I'm asking her to come to a higher level of understanding religion. To the Christian woman, in this country, when I said that at first, that look, we are allowed to marry Christian women. So the white men in the audiences, when I delivered talks, they were thinking, say, yeah, I know why. So I said, why? He said, just because we are whites. You think now marrying a white woman is a superior thing to do? I said, no. Even if the Christian woman is an African woman, she is a Hottentot, she is a Bushman, she is Christian, I can marry her. Because again, we are so close. We accept Jesus as one of the mightiest messengers of God. We accept him as the Messiah. We accept his miraculous birth. We accept his many miracles. The only point of real difference between me and my spouse, that Christian lady, would be that I would say, look, he is not God. He is not the begotten Son of God. But everything else, we have a common denominator. We have one with the Jew. We have a common denominator with the Christian. So we said, we can get them, and more easily they can be absorbed in the house of Islam. Because whatever you believe, we believe, plus a step further. But now my daughter can't marry a Hindu man, nor can she marry a Jew, nor can she marry...
So if it is a male marrying outside of the religion, it's okay. Female, not okay. We will hear why. Right now, of course, as a person who's watching, I'm like, why is it unfair? Of course, this is my perception. It's unfair. But we will see and hear why. Because there must be reasons to anything, right? And this is where a lot of people will fail. Because I hear that and I click off. I say, no, I don't want to listen anymore. That is where a lot of people will be like, ah, you see, Islam is so unfair. It's always men, but never the women. But anyways, we're going to hear now, though. I know, sometimes I'm just too much. But that's how people
now,
act.
the Hindu is understood, being an idol worshipper. But now, you say, what about the Jew and the Christian? I can marry a Jewess and I can marry a Christian woman. Why can't my daughter marry a Jew or a Christian?
Yeah. Fair.
Now, the reason is that you see the Christian husband of my daughter, he's got no respect for Muhammad. He's going to use an offensive language. He's going to say Muhammad is an imposter.
Why?
Because that's his training. No, that's his training. Because as soon as you say, that you accept Muhammad as a prophet, you are a Muslim. You see, when you say, I say, look, Muhammad, you will say, look, Muhammad was a great man. Everybody says so. He was a mighty man. You know, he created a nation and an empire and a religion. He is supposed to have left behind a book, like the Quran. So I said, look, I take off my hat to the man. He's the great. And so many people say he was one of the greatest men that ever lived. Michael H. Hart, in his top 100, he puts Muhammad number one.
Yes.
Jules Masterman, you know, in his book on the Turks, history of
top
the Turks.
100 men.
Right, in the top 100. Then Jules Masterman, in the history, who are history's great leaders. And Lamartine, in his history of the Turks. He says if greatness of purpose, smallness of means, and outstanding results are the three criteria of human greatness, who could dare to compare any great man in modern history with Muhammad? He's daring people, bring your candidates. So in other words now, from that point of view, the Christian, the Westerner, will be prepared to concede that Muhammad was a great man. But he was an imposter. In other words, he was a false prophet. So that's the biggest barrier now. Because if you accept that he was also a prophet means that God chose him. If God chose Muhammad, now Muhammad tells you that the flesh of the swine thou shalt not eat. Now you can say, look, I like pork chops. You know, all my life I've been enjoying it. He said, look, this man is a prophet of God and is authorized by God to tell you now, don't eat the pig. Don't drink alcohol. No promiscuousness. Don't dance or court or date women. So at every step now, if you believe in this man, that he is a prophet of God, you have to listen to him. It's not just a word saying, I believe he's a prophet. It means nothing. When you say he is a prophet of God, what does it imply? It means that he is chosen by God. Now, if he's chosen by God to guide you, to tell you now, according to your capacity now, that you are not to touch alcohol, you are not to take interest, you're not, whatever he tells you, it becomes binding on you, which you are not prepared to accept. Who? The Jew or the Christian.
Mr. Deedat, I have to, last time I was...
Well, I still didn't get my answer though. Kind of very, maybe it will answer in the continuation, but I mean, if a woman can marry into Islam, why can't a man marry into Islam? His explanation was because the man will not accept the teachings of the prophet, or he is a great man or something like that. But maybe some men will. Is it because men are more hard-headed and women are more easy to, like, maybe open their hearts? Let me know if there's a more in-depth explanation. Let me know, because this one didn't give us a clear explanation. I'm just making my assumptions. I could be wrong. So let me know if there's a video out there, because this didn't help us at all. It did help us in one side, but it didn't help us on the other side, right? We wanted the other side, because the question was, if your daughter was gonna marry Christian, why wouldn't you accept? What would you say? And it says in the Quran it's not allowed, but why? Why is it one way and not the other? If somebody in the comments can explain, thank you. If not, let me know a link to a video and we shall talk about it, or we should see that. Thank you guys for joining. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.